for today's video, and we're on day 9 of our Global Career Scholarship Program Undergraduate's Guide. And I'll be sharing with you some important tips when choosing a compelling topic for your personal statement. I have shared with you yesterday information about how to write it, but this time I'll be giving you some possible topics you can explore with your personal statement, and you can use this as your guide when crafting your own storyline. And let's start with the introduction. For me and for the people who have helped me craft my own personal statement, and for those who have been asking me before too for tips about writing personal statements introduction, it's the easiest and safest way of introducing yourself on the introduction part. Who are you, your background, your previous studies, your self. Where are you from, your family background. At least you can put that on the introduction part. Because at least when you write it in the introduction, somehow you're done with introducing yourself and then you can start from there. For example, for me, I'm not from a rich background. My family was so, not so rich, not so poor. I started there. However, I make sure there's something that is making me different from the other applicants. And that's where I pointed and zoomed in when writing the body of my essay. Meaning, from the introduction part, although I introduced myself broadly, there's a specific topic that I was able to utilize as the running theme for my body and conclusion. For my introduction, I focused on my unending desire to know and answer. I look for the answers to my whys. Me constantly asking the question why is something that has driven my mind to study more. And somehow that's compelling enough for the NIAD and for Hanyang University as they accepted me. Because now I'm showing them that I am still curious. I'm still constantly improving myself, constantly asking why and how, and with the things I'm doing now, with the grades reflected now in my transcript, with the activities I'm completing now, it's something that, okay, this person is really a good investment for us. Summarizing the introduction part, introduce yourself, but make sure there's a compelling point wherein that can be used as a running theme until you to your conclusion. And now let's go to the body part. If you're still watching this, you may check my video about my personal statement shared in my previous day 8 for it's a YouTube video wherein I read my personal statement. So you'll know more about what I wrote in my GKS winning essay. Now for the body. The body is more of the juice wherein you'll be detailing as much as possible, but giving more information or more depth on your application. Meaning, I said I'm a curious person. I always ask why. What are the events that I showed this curiosity? That's one. Two, with this curiosity, what are the opportunities I took to learn more? That's something is really relevant to me. And again, following the same storyline, curiosity, what I did to answer my questions and how it impacted or affected not just my life, but also my family and the people around me. It's more of like this. Look into yourself, look into the effect to your family, and look at the effect to the community. It's always going out. So it always comes from within, then goes out. That's a storyline I used for myself. You can also use the opposite. For example, there's an event, a catastrophe outside that affected your family and affected your thinking. Something going in. You can also use the same storyline. The thing is, there should be a running story, consistent and coherent, with a simple storytelling. Because as mentioned, although the Koreans are very good in English, somehow they understood English, it's easier. This is still not their first language. Hence, there could be instances wherein you'll be able to they might get lost with what they are reading. So again, give them the benefit of making your essay easier to read and understand so that your points and your thinking and your ideas transcend and be able to be understood by the reviewer. Because I think that's one problem of a lot of those who are writing complex sentences, complex, highfalutin words. The thing is, you understand it, but the ones reading it, could they understand it? The ones reviewing it, could they understand it? And if they cannot understand it, they won't be able to consider that as impactful part of your application. Again, part of the storyline is to make the story digestible and readable for the reviewers. And going to the conclusion. Sorry, before concluding your essay, make sure, this is important, make sure to satisfy all the guides questions in the personal statement sheet. There are guide questions you need to satisfy, meaning be able to at least provide substantial information or response to the questions asked in the form. And now let's go to the conclusion part. The conclusion should tie up. For example, again, the running theme was I was a curious person. I did this during undergraduates. I did this during my studies. I did this during free time. These activities will be tied up in the conclusion part, meaning all the things I have learned since my elementary days, high school days, college, working days are important. And these steps are important for me to be able to leap to the next step, which is the master's studies. That's how I packaged it. I made sure that after reading, the reviewers will be convinced that giving me the scholarship is required. It's the inevitable step that they have no options but to give me the scholarship, or else I'll stagnate and not be able to develop as a person. It's as if they will not be giving me the scholarship, it's a missed opportunity not just for them but also for the world. I made sure of that, and I think I was able to convince them of that storyline, hence I was able to get my scholarship. And the bottom line is with the conclusion is to make sure it still aligns with the body and the introduction. At the same time, you don't add additional information. It's conclusion, meaning you summarize everything. Don't add stuff in the conclusion part. Its purpose is to conclude, not to confuse. So make sure to take note of that. This is one of the longest videos I made, so probably take time and reviewing and studying this video because it's important, it's critical. Again, for me, personal statement is the most important requirement for the Global Career Scholarship Program, be it undergraduates or graduates. So make sure to take your time and good luck. See you tomorrow.